Hey everybody, welcome to Trades Talk. It is I, your host, Pop. And as you can see, the title of the stream today, doing the job right. That'll be a big thing. If you're going to do a job, do it the right way so you only have to do it once. And then when people look at your job, they'll think, that was done really well. Rather than doing it haphazardly and having it either fall apart on you or, fail in some sort of way. And then people are like shaking their head and going, oh, I wouldn't want that guy working on anything that I have. But yeah, that's what I'm going to get into today. You could do some serious gardening with that telescoping shovel excavator. Yeah, that's no kidding, eh? And welcome, David Glenn. Nice to see you. It's okay that, I know you were busy on Saturday and Sunday. You know what? You got to do what's good best for you. And, if cleaning up was what you were doing, that's what you got to do. Telescoping shovel excavator sounds like a crappy go-go gadget knockoff. How you doing, B17? Yes, that machine's called a Gradall. And if you have a skilled operator like the one I was filming there, he can do an excellent job in a short amount of time. So yeah, just look up Gradall, and you'll find those machines are very good for long reach and cleaning up, like he was doing there. He's cleaning up all those wood chips out of that biofilter. All right, so welcome to my industrial stream where we look at things from an industrial point of view. First up, as I so often do, is going to be news of the week. We'll see what's going on out there in industry, whether plants are being built or if they're being shuttered or who somebody's on strike. So you spell Gradall, Gradall. Gradall. Here we are with the news. Let's see what's going on out there. I noticed this one right off the bat. Tesla posts surprise 2.17 billion third quarter profit, up from 17.3% from a year ago. So, here we go. Tesla's third quarter net income rose 17.3% with a year ago. Its quarterly electric vehicle sales rose for the first time this year. The Austin, Texas company said Wednesday that it made $2.17 billion from July through September, more than the $1.85 billion profit it posted for the same period of 2023. The profit came despite price cuts and low-interest financing that helped boost sales of Tesla's aging vehicle lineup. It was the company's first year-over-year quarterly profit increase of 2024, a year plagued by falling sales and prices. Well, falling prices is good for the consumer, isn't it? I would think that people don't want to pay $70,000 for an electric vehicle. I think they're more inclined to pay $20,000, $25,000. That seems reasonable to me. Revenue in the quarter rose 7.8% to $25.18 billion, falling short of Wall Street analysts who estimated it at $25.47 billion. According to FactSet, excluding one-time items, Tesla made 72 cents per share, beating analysts' expectations of 59 cents. He posted the wrong Gradall. There you go. You feel like a kindergartner sitting in an AP calculus classroom when you do economics. That's fine. You know what? We're not too technical here. I can get carried away, but you guys can just pull me back down to earth here if I get too far out talking about stuff. But usually it's pretty basic. Shares in Tesla soared more than 9% in trading after Wednesday's closing bell. Earlier this month, Tesla said it sold 462,890 vehicles from July through September, up 6.4% from a year ago. The sales numbers were better than analysts had expected. Even with sales drops in the first two quarters, Tesla said in its letter to shareholders that it expects slight growth in vehicle deliveries for the full year despite ongoing macroeconomic conditions, mainly high interest rates. Last year, the company sold 1.8 million EVs worldwide. This also points out to the fact that not everyone's crazy happy to jump on the old bandwagon for electric vehicles. Not everybody's swallowing the hype, as it were, for electric vehicles. So you got to be a little more conservative with thinking how much you're going to sell. The letter said that Tesla is on track to start production of new vehicles, including more affordable models, in the first half of next year, something investors had been looking for. The new vehicles will use parts from its current models and will be made on the same assembly lines as Tesla's current model lineup, the letter said. So using the same parts from other vehicles or from its current models, that will cut costs right off the bat. The new vehicles were not identified. CEO Elon Musk has said the company is working on a car that will cost about $25,000. Didn't I just said that earlier. Like, that's reasonable. Earlier this month, the company showed off a purpose-built two-seat robo-taxi at a glitzy event at a Hollywood movie studio. Musk said it would be in production before 2027. By using parts from existing models in the current manufacturing system, Tesla won't reach cost reductions that it previously expected, but the company said this method should enable more than 50% growth over 2023 production. Tesla said it reduced the cost of goods per vehicle to its lowest yet, about $35,100, despite sustained macroeconomic headwinds and others pulling back on EV investments. We remain focused on expanding our vehicle and energy product lineup, reducing costs and making critical investments in artificial intelligence products and production capacity, the letter said. The company's widely watched gross profit margin, the percentage of revenue it gets to keep after expenses, rose to 19.8%, the highest in a year, but still smaller than the peak of 29.1% in the first quarter of 2022. During the quarter, Tesla's revenue from regulatory credits purchased by other automakers who can't meet government emission targets hit $739 million, the second highest quarter in company history. So that's how they're doing it. That's how Tesla's making their money, is other automakers are paying Tesla because they can't meet the government emission targets. That's where they make all their money from. Okay. Anyways, I thought that was an interesting one. Another one. Parti Québécois wants robots automation to replace temporary immigrants. The Parti Québécois is a political party in Quebec. They're all about Quebec first. Yeah, they refer to it here as the Sovereignist Opposition Party, which has only 4 members in the legislature but is leading in the polls. Parti Québécois says it would lean on robots and automation to replace temporary workers as part of a lengthy proposal to slash immigration to Quebec, claiming its plan is a necessary course correction to ease housing pressure and protect the French language. Oh, sure. You're going to do it that way, are you? Why not, instead of using robots, how about actual people that live there? How about that? Hey, what's up, tits and ray guns? How you doing? Hope your foot's doing okay. You're on the mend, I hope. AI won't conquer us. The T-800's like in the movies. It's going to be Sakura hentai. Yeah, there you go. It's like fembots, baby. Yeah. Hey, AC, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Nice to see that you found yourself a wide enough pair of shoes there in the land of the rising sun. Now you just got to go find yourself a pair of dancing shoes. Parti Québécois is a frog party, a frog mecha party. There you go. Oh. We talk to you, eh? We look down our noses at you when you come to our province, eh? Hey, Alex Moore, how you doing, buddy? Did you see my message on Discord about the shows I was watching this year, or this season? I know you were wondering. What else we got here? Oh, and they're all about protecting the French language in Quebec. They even have the language police. So everything has to be written in French, larger than English. And they have the right to change words. Before they used to just call a hot dog le hot dog, but now they made them change it to le chaud chien, which is actually literally hot dog. So they do that kind of silly stuff over there. Off-topic life story. One time you didn't sleep for like 2 days because you were studying for a Spanish test, and because you were so out of it, you walked into an Algebra 2 classroom and sat through a lecture. Well, that's not Spanish at all in there. So you take Algebra 1. So yeah, you were just kind of like, yeah, right over my head. That's what happens when you don't sleep for 2 days. You got to be careful about that. Sleep is like the absolute most important thing to get you through the day. Your body takes time to heal and process information, does all that kind of stuff while you're sleeping. Very important. Very important for get sleep. On Monday, the Sovereignist Opposition Party, which has only 4 members in the legislature but is leading the polls, released a 97-page policy paper outlining major cuts to the province's immigration levels. It includes a proposal to reduce the number of non-permanent residents in the province to as few as 250,000, down from 600,000 today, within 4 years of forming government. Yeah, we'll see how that happens. They only have 4 members in the legislature, so we'll see how that goes. Leader Paul Saint-Pierre Plamondon said it's a myth that immigration can fix labor shortages, adding that a Parti Québécois government would act immediately to cut temporary immigration. But he also said Quebec will only attain a viable immigration system if the province achieves independence from the rest of Canada, since control over newcomers is shared with the federal government. Yeah, see, this is what I tell you. These guys are all about separating the province from the rest of the country. And you know what? I'm all for it. Go ahead. You want to separate from Canada? Take your portion of the debt and get lost. Go away. Nobody's going to want you. You're not going to be able to connect up with America, and France doesn't want you. So it's just, this to me is a party that is put in place to keep the province divided so people won't wise up as to what's really going on. So they should be charged with treason, actually, wanting to separate from the country, but whatever. It's just a way to control their population over there. So that's my view of it anyway. As the Quebecers say, le devil, Satan. We call people from Quebec poutine pumpers. Yes, B17. Quebec is not small. It is quite a large province. It's very much home to mostly non-native Europeans, likely French. Yes, that's where a lot of them came from. History teaches us that we only have 1/5 of the seats in Ottawa. It is not your interests that will take precedence in what the federal government decides, he told reporters during a news conference in Quebec City, referencing the 78 seats allocated to Quebec in the 338-seat House of Commons. Whether it is health, culture, the French language, immigration, it is always the same problem of a government which decides for us but which does not represent us. Yes. This is why I think the provinces should have more autonomy from the federal government. Saint-Pierre Plamondon said it's unpopular to talk about reducing immigration until recently, but that public opinion has shifted. There is nothing radical in his party's proposal, he said, painting it as a desire to correct an absurdity, an ideological drift that has very serious consequences. For sure. You don't think the Prime Minister of Canada or anything like that has immigrants living on his street. The party wants to cut the number of temporary foreign workers in the province from 40,000 to 40,000 from 270,000. Saint-Pierre Plamondon said Quebec should follow the lead of countries like Japan and China that have invested heavily in robotics and artificial intelligence to fill labor gaps. I think that's a stupid move personally, but whatever. He thinks that's the way to do it. I don't know how artificial intelligence is going to deliver your newspaper or, sweep up the place. Are they going to have robots sweeping up the place? Sure. What about stairs? It's ridiculous. Fun fact, Quebec was originally the 14th colony, but they quit. So we only ended up with 13. Now Quebec wants independence. They're 243 years too late. Yes, they are. But I say good riddance. They want to leave? Leave. We had a referendum back, I think, in 1995. And the margin was like 49.5 to 51.5. So with that 51%, they were able to stay. What else we got here? Oh, according to the policy paper, a Parti Québécois government would create a special fund for the automation of sectors affected by worker shortages, including manufacturing and retail. How are you going to have automation in retail? We harm our economic prosperity if we prevent ourselves from innovating and automating by seeking an ever-increasing number of temporary workers. Party also wants to cut the number of permanent immigrants to Quebec to 35,000 from 50,000 annually and to select them from among the temporary foreign workers and international students already in the province. It would place a moratorium on new economic immigrants from outside Quebec. The same federal government is the reason they possess the current wealth and influence they have currently, so separating from them would be like cutting the power cord to a desktop computer. Yeah, like I say, you want to leave this country? Fine with me. Here's your portion of the debt, and get lost. Go away. You will not have any of the benefits, or you should not have any of the benefits that you had earlier on. And that way, money that is siphoned away from the western provinces like British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, with all the oil richness that Alberta has, all that money goes to Ontario and Quebec. So, the time Quebec reincarnated as a vending machine. Yeah, I wish. Saint-Pierre Plamondon said the numbers mark a return to immigration levels that were placed in place before the Liberals came to power in 2014 under former Premier Philippe Couillard. He claimed that rising numbers since then have put pressure on housing and threatened the French language. He also said immigration might have a negative effect on the birth rate in Quebec, since the cost of housing could make people think twice about having children. The more people you have, the more expensive it's going to get. Especially if they come in and start buying up things at inflated prices. If money is no object for the people that come in, it's going to hurt the people that are already here looking to get a house. The policy paper proposes cutting the number of international students in Quebec from 50,000 from around 124,000. The party would achieve that in part by limiting the number of foreign students who don't speak French to fix an overrepresentation of international students at English-speaking universities. See, there they are going after like English-speaking people again. They always do that. The Parti Québécois release on Monday of its detailed plan follows on the heels of the federal government's announcement last week of its own immigration cuts. Ottawa is planning to accept 395,000 new permanent residents next year, down from the previous plan for 500,000. The numbers will drop to 380,000 in 2026 and 365,000 in 2027. Also kicking out international students. The school system in Quebec literally thrives off of international transfer students. That's screaming educational funding issues. So what's going to happen is the universities will get up in arms. I'm sure they'll come after the politicians. They'll either bribe them, or threaten them in some way for them to make an exception or maybe a loophole for international students, because universities love international student money. They charge international students way more than domestic students, so there's going to be a a fuss about that. So we'll have to see what happens if they get away with that. But Like, they're going to do something. Some sort of backroom dealing, I'm sure. Universities hate to lose money. They hate to lose students. They love their money. But Saint-Pierre Plamondon said he doesn't trust the federal government's honesty for a second on that topic. If Quebec wants control over immigration, he said, independence is unavoidable. Okay, so he's thrown that in too. All right. Quebec Premier François Legault has also made moves to reduce temporary immigration in Quebec, including tabling legislation that would grant the government new powers to limit the number of foreign students. In a statement Monday on social media, Immigration Minister Jean-François Roberge said the governing coalition Avenir Québec has done much more than the PQ to impose French language requirements for newcomers. See, there they are again with the French language. The only measure the PQ is offering to resolve the immigration problem with Ottawa is to hold a referendum on the sovereignty of Quebec, he said. Yeah. French is so unwieldy, but does have some of the better insults. Tabarnak! Ah, yeah. I know, I heard that one before. Hey, Godzillionaire, how you doing? It's everyone's favorite kaiju. Switch to live chat. Oh, look, there's Tits. Yeah. Remember, guys, switch to live chat. You want to be able to see everybody's comments. And there you go. That was a long one, pretty much saying that the opposition party, they're not even the ruling party. The opposition party, the Parti Québécois, wants robots and automation to replace temporary workers. And they're going to do it by separating from Canada. So, yeah. I think I'm hoping that the people of Quebec are sick of hearing these guys and they just ignore them. What else we got here? Neo Battery signs LOI with Canadian municipality for manufacturing facility land lease. What are they? Where are they going and what are they building there? A low-cost silicone anode materials developer announced that it has entered into a non-binding letter of intent on September the 6th, 2024 with a Canadian municipality to lease approximately 8 acres of land for the construction and operation of NEO's planned commercial manufacturing facility. The municipality and detailed terms will remain confidential until a definitive or formal agreement is reached. There is no material terms or considerations with respect to the LOI. The company says it intends to lease 8 acres or 350,000 square feet of municipal land to construct and operate its silicone anode commercial facility for lithium-ion batteries in electric vehicles and electronics. The LOI provides a framework for a long-term lease agreement to support NEO's goal of commercializing Canada's first advanced silicone anode project and the municipality's economic development goals. With tax incentives, that's taxpayers' money, and favorable lease rates, that's free land from the municipality. Compared to commercial market properties, the terms reinforce the company's priority of cost-effective expansion. NEO says it plans to develop a multi-building manufacturing facility which is expected to produce an aggregate silicone anode capacity of 5,000 tons annually. This facility will aim to provide the company with the necessary infrastructure and capability to meet the growing demand for high-performance, low-cost battery anode materials in the North American battery and EV market. Okay, so I was hoping they'd tell us where it was going to be, but they are going to open up a facility, so that means jobs for people. You're not Canadian, why do you know so much about this stuff already? I don't know, B17, what have you studied? Have you studied Canada? Do you know a lot about Canada? Alberta should join Wyoming because we're very similar in culture and would get a cool name like Wyberta. I'm up for it. Why not? Join Wyoming. Sure. Is that a Canuck appropriation? Could be. At least you guys will have a hockey team then. I don't think Wyoming has an NHL team, so you could either we got 2 of them here. We got Calgary Flames and the Edmonton Oilers. So pick your team. And, you guys would have to learn how to skate and everything like that. Hanon Systems expands manufacturing capability in Canada. I don't know what Hanon Systems does, but let's find out. Hanon Systems, a global automotive thermal management supplier for electrified mobility, announced a new plant in Woodbridge, Ontario, to support its growing business with global vehicle manufacturers. But would Wyoming have a good NHL team? It would be an expansion, that's for sure. So expansion teams don't do so well in their first, second seasons and all that. The NHL is watered down enough as it is. I think we need to get rid of some teams, honestly. 32 is just way too many. You know, I long for the days back in the 90s when we didn't have that many teams. And then you had because it just waters down the talent pool. That's what I think. The facility reportedly includes approximately 284,000 square feet of manufacturing space with room for expansion based on business needs. It will be the company's first North American location to produce electric scroll compressors, which are essential components for thermal management in hybrid and battery electric vehicles. I wonder if it stops the batteries from starting on fire. Depending on customer demand, the facility can produce up to 900,000 electric compressors annually. At full production, the plant expects to employ nearly 300 hourly and salaried employees. Well, that's good. Jobs for everybody. Jobs for 300 people anyway. They keep insisting on EVs in the NERTH because they know full well they'll get a third of battery range. Yeah. Yeah, it's like, do you know how cold it gets here? Batteries hate the cold. Like, you want to use a battery in the cold, it cuts its life in half, or the output it has. It's just unreal how how it just kills the batteries. We are pleased to expand our manufacturing presence to increase proximity to vehicle manufacturers and better meet customer demand. This expansion also demonstrates our commitment to growth, improves customer confidence in our ability to deliver electric compressors to the market, said Nerdal Kukukaya, president and co-chief executive officer. We investigated several locations for our new plant. Our partnership with the Government of Ontario and Investment Development Agency has been a significant element in our decision. So it sounds like they're in bed with the government. Added Subu Nasu Brahmoni, president and co-chief executive officer. We are proud to foster local community development and the growth of its economy. The new facility in Canada joins the 4 existing electric compressor manufacturing operations located in Pyeongtaek, Korea, Dalian and Changchun, China, and Portugal in Europe, and it reinforces its competitiveness by expanding production of key components for hybrid and battery electric vehicles. Company executives and local dignitaries gathered at a media event to announce the new plant, which is expected to start production in the first half of 2025. Not long now. Electric scroll compressors sounds like something an apathetic dominatrix would use. Yes. Yes. Why should she get her feet dirty when she could just use an electric scroll compressor to compress things? Electric scroll compressor sounds like a Yu-Gi-Oh! Attack card. And now I play electric scroll compressor. And it defeats your blue eyes, white dragon, Kaiba. Yeah, trust in the heart of the cards. Well, that's it for the news portion there, everybody. Let's go see some articles here. Some I found here. This is from MoneyWise. And it says, young Americans are losing faith in college and turning to skilled trades. Here's why the tool belt generation is taking a pass on degrees and student debt. I've yet to see the tool belt generation. I've yet to see that. Not to say they're not out there, but I haven't seen it yet. College has long been seen as a path to prosperity, but a growing number of younger Americans no longer see earning a degree as the ticket to success. In fact, as tuition costs have skyrocketed and an increasing number of graduates are burdened with debt, many don't feel their education was ultimately worth the price. It's a shame they're finding that out now, but younger generations are taking note, with some deciding to opt out entirely, pursuing alternative careers such as skilled trades. While this can sometimes be a smart path to take, college can still provide more income on average, so it's important to consider the pros and cons of both options. Oh yeah, okay, we'll see. but what will we do with the millions of HR professions and gender studies majors? I don't know, probably live happier. A pricey degree doesn't always mean a big payoff. The cost of college has increased at a rate that far outpaces inflation, with data showing that prices have surged by 135% from 1963 to 2021 across all types of schools. Few people can cover the costs with savings or wages, which explains why the average student borrows $32,000 to obtain a bachelor's degree at a public university, according to the Education Data Initiative. Debts can be even higher for some, with the average balance among students with federal student loans coming to $37,000, and the total overall average balance at $40,000, including private loans. Being burdened with so much debt has left many with regrets. I mean, that's a terrible thing to have hanging over yourself is debt. It's just awful. I've experienced it. I've gone through that, and it wrecks you. It's terrible. Of those with student loans, 68% say their education wasn't worth the damage their debt has done to their well-being. There you go. An even greater number, 8 in 10, or 80%, describe their debt as a huge burden, while more than 4 in 10 workers report that their debt negatively affects their mental health and their future plans. Yes. But they don't tell you that when you're coming out of high school and going to go into college. No one ever talks about the negative effects of what will happen. They think, oh, yeah, I'll get a loan and I'll get my job. I'll do my I'll do my college work. I'll come out with a degree and I'll get a job. Boom, making big bucks. When that is not happening. That is not happening. It is not surprising, in light of that data, that the younger generation has concluded that college may not be all that it's cracked up to be. Waning interest has led to 900,000 fewer college students being enrolled in the 4 years since the start of the pandemic, and that was prompted many to look to learn skills elsewhere. You can't see Zoomers in skilled trades. They lose it when their washer gets out of balance. Yeah. Zoomers have soft hands. If you go to college, get a DVM, but specialize in large breed and you can write your own ticket. Yes. Follow what Tits is saying. He knows it. He's our large breed veterinarian with a broken foot. I didn't see if you answered or not, Tits, but how you doing? Foot getting better? You on the mend? You walk around yet? Yeah, I would think large breeds would be like horses and cows, elephants. Oh, even pigs, eh? Okay. You could even go work at a zoo. Wouldn't that be something? Or can you? Can you not? Can you? I gotta know, Tits. Deal with all those exotic animals, zebras and stuff. The article goes on. In fact, 49% of teens between the ages of 13 and 18 said a high school degree, trade program, 2-year degree, or enrichment program is all they need for their careers, while 56% said real-world experience trumps higher education, according to a report by Junior Achievement and Citizens. Large breeds like blue-haired feminists. Oh, yeah. What are those? The ham beasts and the land whales? Yeah, you got to watch out for those ones. They're mean. You had surgery last Tuesday, and yes, you're hobbling around. Nice. Good for you, man. Take it easy, though. Don't make it any worse. And you can work in a zoo. Hey, all right. The article goes on. Should you forego college for a career in the trades? There are some undeniable benefits to choosing a skilled trade instead of a college degree. You can typically get your training much more quickly and for a fraction of the price. I'd argue that, yes, the price would be less, but your training will still take 4 years. It's just not 4 solid years. It's working for 10 months, 2 months of school, working for 10 months, 2 months of schooling. Like that's, and depending on the trade, some are 3 years, some are 5 years, and the average is usually 4 years. Problem is zoos don't pay much attention to. Okay. You worked at a zoo all through high school. You were a trash man, though. Cleaning up after those animals. They go on, many programs can be completed within a year and cost between $3,600 and $16,000 total, according to the Midwest Tech Institute. This enables you to start working at a younger age and not begin your career burdened with a sizable debt balance, and that's important. You haven't armed gone to a feminist since college? Nice. An aging population has also led to a shortage of skilled tradesmen, which has created new opportunities across a variety of industries, Working Nation reports. Yeah, we all knew that. I say that just about every time. The population is getting older. It's called demographics. Shouldn't be a surprise if anybody can just have a look at and follow the trend. But, politicians are dumb. They're just in it for themselves. And in many trades, the pay is relatively good. The median pay for a plumber, pipe fitter, or steam fitter was $61,000 in 2020. Wow, that's really good. Holy. Well above it was according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, it was well above the $48,000 median average wage across all workers. Unfortunately, there are some downsides. Okay, let's see if I can dispute any of these downsides. For one thing, job options may be much more limited, as estimates for the Center on Education and Workforce at Georgetown University suggest 72% of jobs in the U.S. will require post-secondary education or training by 2031. Okay, that going to trade school is post-secondary education. So I don't get what are you guys get? What is you getting at there, Georgetown? On the whole, those with a college degree also do better financially, with 87% of those with a Bachelor of Arts reporting that they're doing well financially. But is that the truth, or are they just lying? The Association of Public and Land Grant University also found median lifetime earnings for bachelor's degree holders were $1.2 million higher than those without degrees. Okay. I don't know how your degree is going to fix that HVAC machine or install some machinery. Demographics? Don't you know that pattern recognition and statistics are racist, you bigot? Uh-oh, called out. Getting called out by Godzillionaire. I can't help it. The logic is just my forte, that's all. Your little brother is a plumber and he makes bank. Catches a lot of crap, though. Yes, don't stand in front of the pipe when you cut it. They poo-poo trade schools because they can't milk kids for student loan. Yes, tits, 100%. When you don't have to come out at the end of your education with a mountain of debt, you're much better off than you would be if you're burdened by so much. Of course, not everyone with a degree does better, and some people in trades can become quite wealthy, especially if they start their own business. It's true. Ultimately, either a BA or skilled work can open up the door to success, but a lot depends on what your goals and aspirations are. If you want to do certain jobs that require a degree, just be sure that you compare the starting salary to the cost of the courses you'll need to take. If you would graduate with more debt than you'd make in a year, you may want to consider an alternative career path to avoid being left with regrets. Wow, I couldn't imagine that. Graduating with more debt than you'd make in a year. Whew. And that's the end of that. That's the end of the article. Yeah, but when World War III kicks off, it'll be the liberal arts majors set up as cannon fodder. Yeah, Hey, you see those guys over there? They've got job openings for you in your chosen field. What, really? And then they run over there and yeah, done. Some of these kids come out of college with $150K in debt. Holy! That is shameful. Oh, like 100. I can't imagine. You're buying yourself a house, trailer anyway, mobile home for $150K. I don't know. You know, many peoples that graduate with 3 to 4 times debt to annual income ratio. Oy. And universities are perfectly fine with that. Oh yeah, this is good. Yeah, it costs what it costs to get a higher education. It's like, what? All right, let's see. This article is skilled workers thrive where craftsmanship, integrity, and relationships align. This is from a place called Market Scale. Never heard of them, but we'll see what they have to say anyway. The critical role of skilled trades in building and sustaining our society cannot be overstated, especially in today's economy. Industries are currently facing a growing shortage of skilled workers, underscoring the need for renewed respect and recognition for these essential professions. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, total employment is projected to grow by almost 4.7 million from 2022 to 2032, driven largely by sectors like healthcare and information technology. However, many traditional trades, such as carpentry and construction, face slower growth or slight declines due to increasing automation and other factors. They keep bringing up that automation, but I don't see some kind of automated thing building the walls of your house, or doing roofing, or pouring concrete. I just don't see it. You'd rather go into debt at the Beaver Hut as the good dentist. Yeah, there you go. Watch the ESPN 30 for 30 called Broke, about all the athletes that go broke because college never taught them money man. Oh, yeah. It happens with lottery winners, too. They just go nuts. They win lots of money and gone. Just absolutely no clue how to control it. But yeah, athletes are bad for that, too. They supposedly, maybe they'd have somebody watching out for them, but they're just out for them. The people that are helping them are just out for themselves anyway. So whether or not these guys, blow all their cash and that's it, they're left penniless. And the people that were there for a good time, they're not around for a long time. You played for YO, but your parents taught you debt management. Never good enough to go pro, though. Oh. Pro for what, tits? What did you do there? What did you play there? The article goes on. How can we attract and retain the next generation of skilled workers in an era that increasingly values digital and automated solutions over hands-on craftsmanship? On this episode of Straight Outta Crumpton, host Greg Crumpton sits down with Joe Prim, the driving force behind Retrocraft Woodworks. Together they discuss the vital importance of skilled trades, the unique challenges faced by the industry, and the personal journey that led Joe to champion this cause. Pro Badminton. You gotta play for the Olympic team then. The main points of the conversation: the history and evolution of Retrocraft Woodworks, emphasizing the importance of craftsmanship, integrity, and efficiency. The current state of skilled trades and the social shift, or the societal shift needed to elevate these professions. Strategies for building a successful trades-based business in a modern economy. Okay, so you pretty much have to listen or watch their episode. We won't do that. But what I will do is, it's picture time. It's picture time. I know you guys like picture time. And this will be a continuation from last week. Pro breakdancing. Yeah, that's it. That was it. Tits, you were a football player. Your position was tight end. No jokes. Well, yeah, you know what? At least you weren't a wide receiver. Hey. Thanks, I'll show myself out now. Anyways, pictures. You guys might remember last week. Oh, come on. There we go. You guys might remember last week when I showed you this windscreen that had broken. The wire or the cable that was holding it up. I don't know why or how. Nobody will fess up to it. I swear somebody broke it. They either ran over it with the skid steer or did something to mangle it. Because that, you know, that's not a clean cut. It's either that or somebody yarded on the thing so hard that they pulled it apart, but I don't know. There's the other end of it, the crank end. And that's what the other end looks like. And there's where it threads through at the top. So, the structural duct tape failed. Damn you, Gorilla Tape. All right, so this week, I promised you guys that I was going to fix it up and get the parts for it. Here, have some Nami for a little bit. That's always. I'm so glad that I have Brave as a browser. This thing, it's great when you can put your own background pictures in. Release the crank end. Did they try blaming the wind? Nobody said a word. I got to work and there was a note written on the whiteboard. Windscreen broken. It's like, oh, okay. So I bought some parts. As you guys can see here, these are the Crosby clips or cable clamps, as they're called. Nami. She's my favorite. She's my favorite waifu. Crosby clips or cable clamps, some thimbles, and a link. A screw-on link. So you'll see this come together. There's the cable. Yeah, dude, I bet you can't run through that windscreen. I wouldn't put it past them, some of those guys. So this is galvanized steel cable. It's 1/4 inch diameter, 100 feet long. As you can see, the one end already has a loop in it with a thimble. And yes, David, thimbles are important. They provide the support. And as you'll see, I took this guy out there. I hooked the one end up. That's the, there it is there. Put it through there. That snap hook. There, I stretched it out. Right? So there it is on the ground. And of course, I stretched out the windscreen itself. Make it easy for yourself when you're doing a job. Try to make things as easy as possible. There's a bunch of snap hooks through the grommets of the windscreen. I'm like, okay, no problem. I'm just going to thread the whole cable through it. There it is, wound up on the crank end. Yar, matey, hoist the mainsail. Or the mainsail. There it is, threaded through the top of this connection point. There it is, threaded through the windscreen itself. And here's where the thimbles and the cable clamps come in. As you can see, I made my own end here, 2 cable clamps, and a thimble. The thimble will protect the cable from getting pulled at too tight of an angle and making it break. And I did it for the other end as well. And then I put the connector in between the two. And I put some anti-seize on there because, you know, I know that later on, this thing is going to have to come down and get moved off to the side again. So make it easy for yourself. Put some anti-seize on, and then this thing should be able to unscrew nicely when we need to take it down again, because this thing does get taken up and put down on a regular basis. There it is, standing up in the proper spot as it should be. You can see that cable is nice and tight. Yes, yes, it's tight like a tiger. And there we are. Over here, you can just barely see the two loops I made in there, the two eyes. I bet they don't teach thimble mastery and gender studies. Probably not. And this is all, actually all this stuff is from a rigging. So if you take a rigging course, they will teach you about cable slings, wire rope slings. Like all this is just a fancy wire rope. You put a thimble in it, right? And you can use it for lifting, but I won't use it for lifting. It's just, you know, it's going to be holding this up, and that's good enough. Nothing's tight in gender studies. Yes. We got a shot from that side. We got a shot from that side. Everything's looking a lot better. And I'm sure the guys will appreciate it. The having that windscreen repaired. The purpose of the windscreen, Godzillionaire, is to actually cut down on the wind. Because over to the left of this is the process pad, where a lot of the other machinery is. And this thing will just cut down on the amount of wind that goes blazing through there. It makes it a little nicer to work around on the process pad and not get wind in your face all the time. Cuts it down by quite a bit. It's a very good setup they got. They got two of them. So they got this one here, and then there's another one on the other side of the plant. They're just going to wreck it again? No. Nope, they wouldn't dare. They can during shutdown because it gets taken off and put down on the ground. But it's in their best interest not to wreck it again, because if they don't want to get all that wind on them, they're going to have to keep it in good shape. I don't know if we're getting a wind tunnel effect, but it does help a lot to keep it so you're not getting the full brunt of the wind in your face. It does get quite windy. As you can see, we don't have a lot of... there's not a lot of stuff to block the wind. Everything is very spaced out and very flat, so we don't have a lot of places to get away from the wind there. As you can see there. You know, and the wind comes from that's like a northerly direction, northeasterly direction. And that's the way the wind blows in our area. It comes from the northeast. Northeast. It comes from the northeast. So it definitely helps a lot. But yeah, I promised you guys I would get it all fixed up, and I did. You gotta block all that hot air from Eastern Canada. Yeah. Yeah, if Trudeau would shut his mouth. Just seeing that guy and just hearing his voice just drives me up the wall. I just don't want him. I just want him to get voted out so I don't have to listen or see him ever again. Yeah, tits. That Ottawa wind. Yep. But yeah, that's what I managed to get it fixed up today. It took a little bit. It took a little bit of cutting of the cable and all that. But yeah, it's like I say, if you're going to do the job, do it right. And this is the right way to do it. The other way, like the old, come on now, where are you? you guys saw the old cable and the way they did it? They just crimped it, and it wasn't crimped very well. And then they used tape. And this looks like a ground lug. So you have a ground lug that's used for electrical, for securing this thing? I don't get it. And it was a small cable. It's smaller than the one I bought. This was probably either a 3/16 or a 1/8 cable. So not very strong. And when I said do the job right, they didn't do what I did. I don't know what they did. But as you can see, get some cable clamps, get some thimbles, get a connection or a link that you can open up, a quick link, and do it that way. This will last a long time, barring any accidents or stupidity from guys that are careless. This will last a long time. It's galvanized cable, should be good in the elements. It's 1/4-inch diameter, and I believe even on the packaging, where did it say? 7x19 strand cable, yeah. I thought it even had a no, maybe not. It had a breaking strength or a working load. I think it was 1,400 pounds. So when that's your working load limit, that's going to be plenty of strength for what we need, what we're doing. That's just holding that curtain in place or the windscreen. Winding it up that tight on that crank, though, that was a bit of a chore. Had to really guide it on because it's big enough cable that it doesn't like to turn at such a small diameter or wind up on the things at a small diameter. So I had to work at it a little bit. But definitely got it. And if you're going to do it, like I said, like the stream says, do the job right. Does it take longer? Yes. Is it going to last longer? Yes. When you do it properly, it's something you can be proud of. Now everybody's going to know that I've repaired it, and they're going to always, and like everyone does, you're always going to look it over and scrutinize it. Like, oh, what did you do that for? Oh, what's that? But this is something that shouldn't be able to be scrutinized. They shouldn't be able to find fault with it. It's got 2 cable clamps for the length of cable. That's good enough. Thimbles. And it's got a quick link in there. So it should be above, it should be beyond reproach, but we'll see what happens. Anybody can say anything. And then I'll just ignore them anyway. It's like, you know what? If you can do better, you do it. All right. Well, I think that's it for this stream. Not bad. Not a bad stream. I had a good time. So yeah, I want to thank everybody that came out tonight. All you guys out there, David Glenn, B17, of course, Tits and Ray Guns, Angry Canadian was there, Alex Moore, and of course, Godzillionaire. It's always a pleasure. Anybody else that happened to be lurking and listening, I appreciate you, whether you're listening to me on Kick or Rumble or Twitch or, YouTube. Am I streaming next Tuesday? Is that the election next Tuesday, Godzillionaire? Is that why you're asking me? Because maybe I shouldn't. There's something dumb happening in the U.S. next Tuesday. Reproach is like a fart. He who smelt it, dealt it. Oh! But yeah, Maybe I should hold off until Wednesday then. I guess, yeah, there probably won't be a lot of people around. Maybe I will do that. Preempt it until the election's over. Thanks for bringing that to my attention, Godzillionaire. I haven't really been following any of that. We got our own moron to deal with up here, so I don't have a lot of time to worry about what's going on. I just hope that the right guy wins. The right guy wins. You heard what I said. Yeah, hey guys, please hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Tell your friends. Make sure that bell icon is set to all. We're choosing either a great orange father or sees light through. The Laughing Hyena, as I've heard. There's other good channels out there, guys. People I personally watch and enjoy, like Pacific 4 and 4. DJ Ronnie G, who we missed tonight, but hopefully he had a good time in San Antonio. There's Brandon, the anime guy. There's Carl at the RNG podcast. I was on his podcast, or on his show yesterday, and we talked about comic video games and anime video games, and, brought up our favorites and ones that did good and ones that did really terrible. There's Tomby. He's the bloke from across the sea in Britain, and he spotlights small content creators on his Sunday show, which I thought was really cool. He's got some good advice for people. Angry Canadian, who was in the chat, and Nerdporeal Lifeform. And don't forget Punk Waddle. He was at the meetup too, I believe, with DJ Ronnie G. He's everybody's favorite penguin, and it's always good to see him and his videos that he drops. And there's one guy on Twitch called Infinite Metal. He's very entertaining. He plays retro games. He has a dragon named Skelly. They banter back and forth. I mean, it's him doing both voices, but it's quite entertaining. So if you feel like it, tune in to Infinite Metal. The Yankees are playing like someone born in a middle-class family. Clock gets set back, and there's an election in the same week? God help you. Yeah. Wow. So you can be late to the polls? Is that how it's going to work? Join Snacks and Friends immediately after this stream ends. Yes. Check out Snacks and Friends. I've seen a few of his streams and whatnot, and yeah, very entertaining. But yeah, so coming up is Saturday. That'll be Retro Game Day. It's a new month, so yes, it is a new month. I just checked the calendar, and yeah, I'll see if I can think of a new game to play. We went through a lot of the trivia, the crosswords, the game shows. I mean, that was pretty fun. I liked it. I hope you guys had a good time playing the game show games. You guys really helped me out on them, that's for sure. I'll try to think of something. Sunday, Anime Chat Day. Once again, new month, new theme. I have to come up with a theme. God help me, I have to come up with a theme. I don't know, Godzillionaire. I don't know what the theme for November should be. I'll come up with something. I've got to dig deep and think of something good for you guys. Yeah, and then after that, we're right around again to Tuesday, which might be moved to Wednesday because of the election. So I think I will move the stream to Wednesday, and that should be a lot better. So do what you guys got to do down there. You know what? Vote, and I hope things work out for you guys. It'll be good for you, and it'll be good for us too, I think, in Canada. So best of luck to you guys. Be careful out there. The anime you were thinking of was My First Girlfriend is a Gal. I've heard of that one, Tits. I don't think I've seen it, but I heard of it. The theme for November, Epic Waifu. You know what? That is a good idea, Godzillionaire. November theme, anime girls with mecha turkeys or bad mecha anime. Oh, don't tempt me, Tits. Don't tempt me. We should have a waifu theme, shouldn't we? Everyone can bring up their favorite waifu. You know, I'll pick some. You guys tell me yours. You know, some people will bring theirs up and we'll tell them they're trash. So we'll all have a good old time. Anyways, I hope to see you guys there for that. Try to come up with something good for you guys. So yes, I won't be streaming until Saturday. So come and join me for the game stream. But until then, I've been Pop, and I am signing off. And yes, Godzillionaire, waifu poll in Discord. That's a good idea.